Hi love, welcome back to my channel. Do you often find yourself avoiding long-term relationships? Or perhaps you're with someone who struggles to commit? You're not alone in this. If you recognize this in yourself, it points to your inner child who experienced pain during childhood. If this behavior stems from your partner, your compassion can help mend their inner child. If you're new here, I'm so glad you're joining us today. My name is Rose Elizabeth. I specialize in neuroscience and mental health. This is a safe space where we talk about healing, growing, and becoming the version of ourselves that feels whole, grounded, and deeply loved. Today, I want to talk about something most people don't even realize. That even if you look strong on the outside, people can still see through you. Why? Because when someone grows up without enough love, without a sense of safety, belonging, or self-worth, it leaves a mark. Not just emotionally, but in the way they carry themselves, the way they love, the way they cope. So let's go deep. Here are 10 quiet signs that someone is, deep down, starving for love. Sign number 1, heavy emotional walls. People who grew up lacking love tend to be guarded. They don't trust easily, and opening up feels unsafe. Even when they long for closeness, they keep others at arm's length, because they've learned that being vulnerable often leads to pain. They want love, yes, but more than anything, they want to feel safe in love. They're not looking for perfection. They're looking for someone who won't run when they finally let their walls down. Sign number 2, overgiving to feel worthy. They give more than they have, often without being asked. They remember every kind gesture and feel compelled to repay it tenfold. Not because they were taught gratitude, but because they were taught that love has to be earned. They overextend. They people please. They say yes when their soul is screaming no. They disappear so someone else can shine. And deep down they wonder, if I stop giving, will anyone still stay? Sign number 3, a heavy heart and a guarded mind. Their hearts hold stories they've never told. Their minds carry constant questions. Am I enough? Did I say too much? Will they leave? They rarely open up, not because they're cold, but because they're scared of being judged, misunderstood, or rejected. They've learned to carry their emotions in silence, not because they want to, but because they've had to. In their youth, they may have been open. However, people around them lacked the empathy they required. This absence of support caused their hearts to ache. Ultimately, they decided to shut themselves off. Sign number 4, afraid to ask for help. They are fiercely independent, not by choice, but by survival. Asking for help feels like admitting weakness. Needing others feels like a risk, so they suffer in silence. They smile when they're falling apart. They say, I'm fine, when their heart is breaking. Even when they are drowning, they smile and say, I am fine, because once upon a time, asking for help led to disappointment. So now they carry everything, alone. Sign number 5, unable to express emotions. They've never been taught how. They grew up in spaces where emotions were ignored, dismissed, or punished. So now they bottle things up. They cry in the shower. They vent through writing or music. They cope in quiet, often unhealthy ways. And even in love, they hold back, afraid they'll be too much for someone to handle. So that leads to the next sign. Sign number 6, struggles in long-term relationships. They want love, but love also terrifies them. They don't expect much from others, because they were conditioned not to. They're afraid to fully let go, to be seen, to be chosen. So they self-sabotage, or stay in surface-level relationships, or walk away before someone else can. They crave depth, but don't feel safe swimming in it. They've never had a roadmap for what healthy love looks like. When they consider breaking things off first, they believe it reduces their own pain. They recognize it's unjust to you, but they don't know how to cause less pain. Sign number 7, extreme spending habits. When love is missing, money can become emotional. Some hoard it, terrified of lack. Others spend it impulsively, trying to fill a hole that love was supposed to fill. They buy gifts to feel worthy. They shop to feel comfort. They invest in things instead of people, because people have hurt them. And while it may look like financial behavior on the outside, but deep down, it's emotional hunger on the inside. The stress over finance could lead to the next sign. Sign number 8, poor conflict resolution. They weren't taught how to have healthy arguments. Maybe they saw yelling, or silence, or walking away. They did not get to observe healthy conflict resolution patterns when they were young. So now conflict feels like danger. When things get tense, they shut down or explode. They avoid hard conversations. They fear being misunderstood. And deep down, every disagreement feels like a threat. What if this is the moment they leave? I will be alone. Sign number 9, tough shell, tender core. They look strong, confident, capable, but inside they're soft, sensitive, sometimes scared. They carry pride, not out of arrogance, but out of protection. Their independence is a shield. Their confidence is a mask. And behind it all is a heart that's terrified of being hurt. Again, they might rarely ask, "Do you love me?" But they desperately want to hear it because they did not get enough validation as a kid from their parents. And that leads to our final sign. Sign number 10, love and resentment toward their parents. They love their parents. Of course they do, even if they do not admit or barely talk to their parents. Because they carry the invisible wounds of being unseen, unheard, unprotected. When they visit home and smile in family photos, they might sometimes cry afterward. They do things for their parents they never received themselves. And in every relationship they enter, they unconsciously try to heal what was missing. No matter how old they are still that little vulnerable kid, waiting to be picked up by their parents. In the end, people who are starving for love don't always look broken. They may seem successful, popular, even joyful on the outside, but inside they carry an ache for warmth, for connection, for unconditional love they never quite received. Some of us are lucky enough to carry childhood love through life. Others spend a lifetime trying to patch the holes it left behind. And if you see yourself in these signs, please know this: you are not alone. You are not too damaged, and it is not too late. You can give yourself the love you didn't get. You can break the cycle. You can heal, slowly, gently, truly. Let me know in the comments if this resonates. I read everything, and your stories matter. You're worthy of love, and you always have been. If you like the content, please subscribe for more. Until next time, please take good care of yourself.